After all these travels, it really had me wondering, was there a perfect place to meet Prince Charming? Or could you meet him at any place, anytime? So where is gay dating the best? For those of you who've been following my channel for a while, you know that I've done a lot of gay dating in this city, that city type videos because I did a lot of traveling last year. Of course, this question is completely subjective, but this is just my take, my perspective. I'm sure that a lot of you are going to assume that I would say that my answer to this question is Rio de Janeiro, just based on the videos that I've made. That's the one city I had pointed out where it was like the Twilight Zone. Like, it had never been that easy to encounter gay men, specifically on the apps. I've never been in any city where, except for Rio de Janeiro, where every guy I matched with on Tinder or Bumble or whatever made conversation and was proactive in communication, and where on Grindr they were strangely respectful. Like, I was not prepared for that. That being said, Brazil is it's notorious for having a very sexual culture, and I was a tourist, and therefore I don't know truly if you're local, it's that easy to date the way it seemed to me. Like, it could just be that I was, there was a novelty factor, the fact that I was visiting and I was on these apps, maybe that made it sort of easy for gay men there to assume I was looking for a hookup and to reach out, right? So for that reason, I can't say Rio de Janeiro. If I had to pick one place out of all the travels that I've had where it seems to me that gay dating would be ideal, I have to go with London, England. I had a great experience when I was in London. It was very easy for me to meet guys at the bars, on the apps. There were plenty of men, and it reminded me kind of like of New York City, but a more subdued, like a diet version, like Coke versus Diet Coke. To me, London is like diet New York City. It's a lighter version of the intense city that never sleeps that is New York City. I think London is great for gay dating for several reasons. First off, in a cosmopolitan type city, you tend to encounter a variety of types of people that you can date, right? Like all types of gay men, but also it's just a professional city. So typically you're going to find men who are at a certain caliber that is different from, let's say, Miami or LA, where I've lived. So in a city that's more professional, you tend to find people who are more professional, maybe more educated, more like they know what they want and they have their goals set. They're not just like coasting through life. In addition to that, even though England kind of is on its own, it's still Europe. And I think that in Europe, people are different. I think they're more social. I think they're more community oriented. And I think people's values are, generally speaking, obviously I'm totally stereotyping, but I've noticed in Europe, I think people care more about values. And I don't want to get too political, but I do think political systems, I think access to education, religious ideology, I think all those things combined there allow that to happen more than in a place like the United States. And finally, bar culture is a big thing in London. When I went, I realized that it really is a place for social gathering, which historically it's, people always talk about the pub or the tavern in Britain. And it's really true. Even when it wasn't that late out, it was still daylight out, people were out in the streets and they're just like grabbing a drink with their friends and hopping between bars. And in London, the bars close really early. So one great benefit to that is it forces people, in most cases, I think, to be more responsible. So it's like they'll go get a drink after work and maybe they'll linger for a few hours and then they go home. It's not like in the States, or at least in a place like New York or Miami, where people go out late, they show up to the bar at like midnight, 1 a.m. after already partying with their friends, and then they stay there till like 3 or 4 in the morning. I think all these things together help make it a more sane, maybe, environment for legitimate dating and getting to know other gay men. So that's just my take on this. I picked London, England for the ideal city in my mind based on what I've seen, what I've experienced for gay dating.
Across the water, blessed same gaze on your eyes.